Today we are going to review the legendary snowboarding film Apocalypse Now. No, Apocalypse Snow. This is 150 Days of Winter. You get this view. It's been an incredible day. Thank you all for everybody. So we're going back 40 years to the birth of something called snowboarding. We're going back to Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Snow. Okay, so I think that this film deserves a little bit of a history lesson before I go into it, okay? This film was released in 1983, and if you didn't know that snowboarding has its roots that go, in America at least, that go back to the 1960s. And we have people like Jack Burton and Tom Sims and Dmitry Milovich to thank for developing the whole snowboarding concept. And meanwhile, back in France, development had taken a rather different turn. The monoski, which was invented in about 1978 in Chamonix, was the thing to master. And trust me, I appreciate that in just one phrase: vive le mono. Anyway, in 1980 alone, they sold 70,000 monoskis. Okay? But could you find a snowboard anywhere? I very much doubt it. However, the producer of this film went and bought one back from the States. The early 80s saw the opening or the expansion of the Les Arcs ski resort to Les Arcs 2000. And to help publicize the new resort, Alain Guimard invited the Winterstick team over from America. Now, Winterstick was developed by Dmitry Milovich, one of the pioneers of snowboarding. And of course, one of the snowboarders they got to test this was a gentleman called Regis Roland. So for the following season, Guimard, Lafont and Roland had a bigger project, which was to become a cult ski film, Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now. I can't say Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Snow. During this very short movie, Regis is seen riding with ease while pursued by a gang of vicious monoskiers, including Chamonix, Alain Revel and Philippe Lecadre. And this film went on to be an absolute legend. After reviewing a couple of silly Hollywood films, I got a suggestion from one of my subscribers, Jan, for something a little different. Vintage, snowboarding and French. Oh, and I almost forgot a punny title worthy of Mr. Stump. And let me introduce you to the Apocalypse Now trilogy. Apocalypse Now, Apocalypse Snow trilogy. Again, you can see what they were trying to do with the title. Filmed in 1983, 84 and 86. The story, and as you know, back in the early 80s, ski and snowboard films used to actually have a story, was a bunch of vicious, faceless monoskiers seek to capture a nice snowboarder to steal the secret of skiing from him. And in the process, you end up with some very, very good footage of snowboarding, skiing, and monoskiing. And for most Europeans, this was the first sight they had of snowboarding and really helped kickstart the sport. Now, the surfer, Regis Roland, is riding a swallowtail Winterstick, one of the earliest snowboarders created by Dmitry Milovich. This is purely a powder board because of its absence of metal edges, and to add to that, bindings, if you can call them bindings, was just a simple rubber strap on the board. I think they called them bataille straps. It makes the snowboarding even more impressive, And here is, of course, an image of a Regis Roland Apocalyse surfboard. Now, the first two of these films start in the 19th century Fort de la Platte, which overlooks Bourg Saint-Maurice, which, if you're interested, is now a fromagerie, but unfortunately it's also private property. As for the monoskiers, two names were very familiar: Philippe Lecadre and Lodo Ristier. I've come across Philippe when I was reviewing Dick Barrymore's films in Chamonix, and I crossed paths with Loda first appearance in Maltese Flamingo when Greg Stump and the crew headed to Les Arcs. Even though these were filmed in consecutive years, each one starts where the previous one ends, with a bit of continuity. Now, although I would say that the first is the best, with the sequels being attempts to outdo the first, and in my opinion, failing. The budgets get bigger, but they somehow miss the mark, the purity, the simplicity of the first. The first half of the second film is a bunch of American football wearing monoskiers and skiers battling it out in various games. And there's like a scoreboard. Fun, but I prefer when they finish and the snowboarding chase restarts. And it does redeem itself with some very iconic tandem monoski action. And in the third film, again, they decide to go international with in Japan being chased by samurai, in the USA being chased by Indians, and maybe Canada as well, and back to France again. All very nice, however, it rather takes away from the simplicity of the first. Now, thankfully, all of these films are available on YouTube. Links are all down below. The first I give an A+ to because it is just, in my opinion, it's just so iconic. The second and third I give a solid B+ to. I highly recommend checking them out. If you like snowboarding, then watching Regis on his winter stick is just magic. And if you like skiing, then by extension monoskiing, then you're watching some of the best monoskiers at the time. Again, well worth it. And as they're 30 minutes each, you can just watch these really quickly at your leisure. Okay. Once again, Jan, thank you for reminding me about these films. I had, of course, seen them before back in the day, but never knew what the title of these were. Again, I thank you for your suggestion. And of course, if anyone else has a suggestion for an old ski movie, then please drop it down in the comments down below. If you enjoy these reviews, click the subscribe button. You want to leave me a comment down below. Click the like button, and I will see you all in the next video. Ciao.